What's up, guys? In this video I have issues with the chain alignment, and I find out that this thing leaves tire marks behind me, and I also finally identify what brand of go-kart this is, and I also find out that this engine is kind of exotic. Okay, so now I've got the drive wheel on the workbench, and it's time to work on aligning it a little better. Oh yeah, fun fact. There's only 3 bolts in the hub, because the three nuts in the hub, because the third nut got stripped out, basically. I mean, it still had thread, it was just too shallow to really grab. Okay, so I haven't worked on this for a while because I stripped out some of these nuts. They're over here. These are some of the old nuts. I stripped out a couple of them because I guess they just weren't high quality enough, and this impact just destroyed them. So I've got these nice grade 8 nuts that are the same thread pattern and size. So hopefully this will work. Okay, actually on second look, after rolling it on the ground, I think I may have finally fixed it. So, I'll see you in a second. I'm gonna go try to put these big bad washers on the axle to keep from scooting around. And hopefully it'll work. If it does, I can take it out for an extended rip today. So here on the back porch, and let's see how this goes. Oh, I don't know, that's pretty terrible. Oh man, the sidewall is pushing the chain off the sprocket. That is terrible. Okay. That ain't gonna fly. So, I didn't film it, but, here, let me turn on the light here. I didn't film it, but off camera, I was getting those things out of the wheel hub. The wheel hub is now a straight bore. So, I think these are bushings. One of them is most definitely a bushing. This one. This thing is completely one piece. It's like a rubber bushing or something that's really hard, by the way. And there's a possibility that this might have been some sort of slide, plain bearing setup with no balls or anything, no ball bearing. But either way, there was zero rotation, because there was zero rotation of these bearings. They're not bearings, or at least had no effective bearings. So I didn't know this. Well, I knew that whatever it was seized up, or maybe it was designed to be like that, but. So yeah, I was wailing on those. I put the hub in the vise, and I was also doing some of it while it was on the wheel. But I was just wailing on it really hard. This is also some of the bits from the slide bearing or something, whatever it was. But yeah, so I am going to have to wait a while, because I need to order some bearings put in here, because I think that'll help fix my chain alignment. The previous owner, he actually said, when I was messaging him, he actually said that the wheel bearings were going bad, and I think this is what you meant, but they weren't even bearings, so yeah, garbage. And it took me forever to whale those out, and I was hitting it with P-Blaster and everything. It was really complicated. So yeah, this is all I can do for now. I tried to align it, didn't really work. So yeah, I need to do that. And then once the bearings come in, hopefully they'll get me going get me going so I can finally fix the terrible chain alignment. Okay, so from a distance, this looks like a fairly normal flathead, right? Right? Wrong. The carburetor is, it's kind of, sort of, not really uncommon. But what's different is really discreet. See that little 10 on the cylinder head? It means it's a 10 cubic inch cylinder head. Almost all the rest of these 5 horsepower flatheads are 13 cubic inches. So this is a smaller combustion chamber, which means more compression, which generally means more power, but in this case it also means reduced flow. But that is really interesting for this engine. All 132, 432 flatheads have it, or at least should. That's what someone said on the DIY go-karts forum. Check them out. And yeah, now on to the go-kart itself. The previous owner said that it was a mostly custom frame, and by that I mean I think that they just modified it a lot, which they did. So this thing is a Bird and or Phoenix Engineering Master of Motion Starbird, which is a terrible name, but that's what it's called. And its model number is 41553. So I think it's an 80s kart. It's a little more obscure than, say, a Manco, but it is pretty interesting because it's the kind of go-kart that you would get at Sears or JCPenney back in the day. So it's kind of interesting. And I was able to find on the internet some pictures of what this thing would have looked like originally. Yeah, it's a bit windy today, if you couldn't tell. So I'll go over the modifications that have been done to it. A lot of them are horrendous. I think the tie rods are original. I'm lucky. I don't think this thing has ever seen any major impacts. Pedals are original. And steering wheel is original, which is nice, as is the hoop. This whole main frame is original, as is the front, most of the front end. And the one wheel peel step is definitely original, as is the engine plate. Now, I said it, I'll say it again, but now on to the modifications that have been done. The previous owner added on these ugly kind of wing pieces. I think they're basically stone guards, so it doesn't throw stones at you. Let's see here. The brake system is literally upside down. This whole thing is supposed to be facing up, where it presses that way against the tires. So I would need to flip these around and flip the whole system over by first undoing this clevis. And you can actually kind of tell that it's upside down, because down there, let's see here, press the brake pedal. You can see a little hole down there in the pedal. That's where that originally went. So that's the story behind that, basically. So this whole brake system is upside down. I need to flip it back to original position. And let's see here. That piece of angle iron is custom. That's a seat support because this whole seat back, the original seat back, I think this is the original vinyl even, has been moved back. That's where it was before, right there. Has been moved back maybe 3 to 6 inches. So it's been moved back a little bit. The most obvious modification is this horrendous roll hoop, which is unspeakably ugly, and they welded in this ugly cross brace, and they also welded in this flat stock between the frame rails. Oh yeah, and the carburetor's a little leaky. So flat stock is custom, and they also used it as an extended engine mounting plate. I think there was another modification they did to it somewhere. Maybe not. But yeah, so it's easy to tell what stuff is custom and what isn't, because the factory stuff has really clean welds. Like, take a look at those beautiful welds. These are really nice. And then, when you take a look at, say, these, that is just horrific. That's a booger weld right there. So, it's kind of cool this thing is still the original steering wheel, because some people modify it. Because when the seat backs up here, you're scrunched up a little bit more. And that could be a problem for me because I'm a little taller, but I'm going to scoot it back up anyway, just for the sake of originality. I'm going to basically return this thing to how it should be from the factory. And I think it really deserves it. It's a pretty cool go-kart, actually, since it's kind of less common. Oh yeah, another thing that's missing. There's supposed to be 2 front tabs right here. I'm not sure what for, but they've been completely cut off. They're just gone. And those are the original front wheels and tires. Oh yeah, that's another modification I forgot to mention. Original front wheels and tires. Okay? They're Carlisle stud tread, and they're 410 by 350 on 5-inch rims. The wheels are kind of rusty too. I've said before, those are the wrong size tires. They're too big. And they're obviously not original because they're a lot newer than the ones on the front. But reason why, a big clue that I was wrong size, so you can see the axle and the brake shaft have been bent away from each other to shoehorn huge tires on there. So, those you have to go. Those are about 1 inch too wide and about 1 inch too tall. So, the rears are supposed to be 410 by 350 on 5-inch rims, Carlisle tread. Same as the front. And just with 3/4 inch bearings instead of 5/8 inch. And I think I might just take these front ones off and set them aside for a while, put some paint on them, because they're original tires. You don't see that every day. It's very rare, actually, kind of. So I might put some sawtooth tread tires on there. I might just put more knobbies on there. I don't know. But yeah, this thing is gonna come back. It's gonna be awesome by the time it's done. And I'll edit in a picture I found on the internet of this thing in stock form. It's actually like an advertising type thing, at least up in the corner. And you can see it looks a lot better than it does now. You can compare that. So, yeah. Oh yeah, and also these pedals have been bent a little bit. I think that's just to make them a little easier to press. But I'm going to fix that. I'm going to straighten them out. So, I've got a lot of cutting and welding to do. I'm going to do that over my neighbor friend's house. He's a pretty nice guy. So, yeah. That is kind of sad to see how much this thing has been changed, but it's going to come back, don't worry. So I didn't notice this until several days after I drove the go-kart around the yard. But look at that! Tire marks! That is awesome. That must be from the other tire sliding. But dang! Tire marks with a stock engine and high gearing. That makes me wonder what it's going to do when it's fully built and when it's geared lower. Oh man, this is going to be fun. So yeah. I've got a lot of work to do on this go-kart. The drive wheel is sitting over here. It's been a day or two since I've touched it, but it needs realignment, and so I need to realign that. I've got the new fasteners and stuff. I've got washers to keep from sliding back and forth on the axle, so that's not really a problem anymore. I need to align that, and then once I get this thing a less redneck runner than it was in the last video, then it's time to make it nice, which is going to mean putting the right size tires on the back, bending the axle and brake shaft back to where they were originally, chopping off all the custom stuff that has been put on, replacing some of the factory stuff that's missing, like a cool, pretty nifty little handbrake lever that was original. So I need to do that. Flip over the brake system. I need to reattach an engine shroud over the cooling fins. This thing is It's kind of a slow project, but it will be all worth it in the end. And so yeah, that's basically all I've got for this video. Thanks for watching. Sorry I didn't have any footage of me riding it this time. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. And yeah, I'm just waiting for the bearings to come, so just please be patient with that. I'm posting this video as kind of a intermediate kind of video until I can get the chain aligned and take it for long rides. So, yep, just be patient, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.